Welcome back to the channel. My name is Chase, and I want to share with you a beginner's guide to Zap Lalo, one of the strongest attacks in the game, while also being one of the most technically advanced, and my personal favorite. I'm going to break down the entire planning process so that you can go out and practice on your own, as the strategy does take a good amount of time to figure out. So let's get started with step 1, the lightning spells. For me, I absolutely despise dealing with the Clan Castle, so 99% of the time I'm zapping that, which means I'm bringing either 7 zaps in 1 earthquake, or 5 zaps in 3 earthquakes. Once I find the Clan Castle, I look for a value that I can zap around it. Buildings that are not storages can be zapped up to 3 adjacent tiles away, and 2 tiles diagonally. These pictures right here show the absolute maximum range of the zap spell. They require very precise placement. I like to look for sweepers, which take 2 lightning spells, and expos, infernos, and scatters, which take 5 lightning and 1 earthquake. Even nearby heroes like the Queen, which takes 7 lightning, and the Royal Champion, which takes 7 as well, unless she's in the Warden Tower radius, and then she takes 8. Also, if you don't want to zap the Clan Castle, you can swap out some lightning spells or an earthquake for a poison, and then you can zap any other value that you can find throughout the base. You can check out my lightning spell guide to know the exact amount to bring for your attack. After finding the value buildings you want to zap, you can move on to step 2, where to send the Sui heroes. I usually have 2 main objectives in mind for the Sui portion, which are to set up the lavaloon pathing, and to secure at least 1 high value building. For pathing, you want at least 2 air defenses up as anchor points for your lava hounds, and that way they can tank the surrounding defenses, allowing your balloons more time to sweep in and wipe out those defenses. You also want a clear-cut path of defenses that the balloons can follow, so that you don't lose firepower when some branch off in other directions, and so that your spells get more value. It's always incredibly frustrating when you place a haste and then all your balloons path around it. If there are still sweepers up, you can sui the portion of the base that the sweeper is covering, so that way the air portion doesn't have to fly through there and get blown back. Now the second objective is equally as important, and that's getting high value buildings. I personally think the Town Hall is the most important building to get with the sui, because if left up it will force out your Warden's ability. There are of course exceptions to this, one being if you can find great value elsewhere, that helps make a clear path straight to the Town Hall. Or if you want to use a Sneaky Goblin and Hound Blimp for Town Halls that are directly against a wall, that way there is guaranteed no traps in that area, and your Sneaky Goblins will take out the Town Hall. And you can even use a Safety Blimp to secure a Town Hall if you think there might be traps there. I know, there's a whole bunch of options that are all viable. So that's why I like to prioritize getting the Town Hall with the Sui, so that way you can eliminate those options. Scattershots and multi-infernos are definitely the next most important, as they can deal massive amounts of damage to multiple balloons in a short amount of time. And then enemy heroes are next because balloons can't target them, so the Queen and RC can safely pick off your whole army. So you have to deal with them with either Headhunters, or Dragon and the Slammer, or your Sui heroes. I always look for a multi-inferno next to an enemy hero to send my heroes into, because it's a lot less damage for my King and Queen to deal with than a single target inferno. That way they can get more value. Now the last step to master is the actual Lalo portion. If the lightning spells and the Sui all went smooth, then the Lalo should be pretty straightforward. You may have heard that you need to memorize the number of balloons you need for each defense, and send the exact amount at each defense in the area. I personally don't think it's necessary to an extent. I've actually only memorized the number of balloon hits for outer defenses, because I know the balloons will group up eventually and one-shot any defenses in the core, if I get my pathing right. When you look at what's left, you can see there's usually a lot of outside defenses that are there to mess up your pathing. In these cases, you want to save enough balloons for each outer defense, and get rid of them while your main pack of balloons is moving through the base. The most common outer defenses are cannons, which take 4 balloons, archer towers, which take 3, and mortars, which take 2. If you can get those pesky outer defenses taken care of, then your main group will stay on the inside of the base where the high damage defenses are. If you got the town hall with your heroes, you can use your warden ability to save the balloons as they enter an area of high splash damage, usually protecting them from the eagle blasts. The warden ability can also be used as you send in headhunters for the enemy heroes. That way, they won't be picked off by ground expos and cannons. Spell timing and placement is also critical for Lalo and can make or break an attack. You usually don't need to use freezes until your hounds die, unless your balloons are targeted by a multi or a scatter shot. I try to save my freezes until after my warden ability as well, however every base calls for something different. For haste spells, I try to lead my balloons into strong defenses, so I'll usually haste into scatters and infernos, mostly splash defenses. If sending the balloons into the town hall, I'll usually try to haste them out of it so that they don't get hit by the slowdown effect, although usually it doesn't work. So now that you have all the tips that I go by for Zap Lalo, I'm going to be breaking down one of the attacks I did utilizing my own tips against Space Station Gaming in the ESL Mobile Open. I noticed that there was a multi-inferno right next to the Clan Castle, so I had to zap that along with the Expo that's right there. Once that was down, the plan was to use my queen and an ice golem for the town hall, and use my king for the enemy queen. Now I knew it was a pretty ambitious Sui, but I knew the funnel would be pretty easy because of the dead space on the left of the town hall. At this point, I'm using minions to clear the trash on the left, and then the ice golem goes in, followed by my queen and a wall break, making sure it was on the air defense, because I didn't want my king to enter over there. The baby dragon funneled perfectly at 3 o'clock, and I wall break for my king. I placed it over towards 3 because I didn't want it targeting the elixir storage compartment over by my queen. So here my king kills the queen and inferno with a freeze, while the town hall goes down to my queen's ability, and it's looking great so far, and I still have my royal champion. I had planned on using the champion to target the sweepers because they were placed in a pretty good spot, and I can even freeze the sweeper and scatter together, which helped out for my balloons. As the Lalo goes in, I'm getting a straight path formed that leads right to the scatter shot, and now I can warden through the scatter and the eagle shots. To be fair, it wasn't the best warden ability usage, but I do have the slammer coming in at the top, and that keeps the balloons in the core, killing those outer defenses. And now I need to use my final haste spell to get my balloons through the remaining splash defenses. So I'll be using it right now on the scatter shot. Also, a note that I did not mention, always place minions behind your balloons immediately after. That way you can start the cleanup process and you won't risk time failing. Because as you can see up top, I have my lava pups and minions that I saved, and they're going around cleaning up all the outer trash buildings that my balloons would miss. And now I just have to wait for the triple. So that is my complete guide to Lalo. Thank you guys so much for watching, and stay tuned for more content in the future.